thank you all. And do we have any more questions? Think hard. This is our chance. John?
I've got just one question. The Democrats have successfully taken God out of this country. Will you work hard to put that back, put God back into it? Thank you.
Reverse order.
I guess so.
All I can say is it's at the top of my list.
I see that. I know that.
Amen. Amen. I agree with you 100%.
Everything, I try to live my life for God. I want to put it back in there. That's number one with me.
Very much agree. As I mentioned, I was a delegate in Tampa, and then I came back to Charlotte, and I saw the Democrats have their convention in Charlotte, and I thought that was atrocious, and I think, but also I believe it was honest on their part. It's where they come from, and it's one of the things that differentiates us, and I think we need to, as Major Dave has done on his campaign brochure, put that up front, put that first.
I have another question. I don't mean to monopolize the questions, but I think there's frustration on the grassroots level with the Republican Party establishment, especially at the national level. But it's scary when we think about who's representing us and see you all, one of the three here and also one of the chairperson candidates are going to be in the party establishment of our state. How can you reassure me that you really will work for conservative values and not just politics as usual? I mean, sometimes I feel like we don't have really a candidate. The people that really believe in limited government. Can you address that?
Cut this in again. It's one of the things that I can only offer to you the fact that when I announced that I was going to be running for chair, I didn't know who I was going to be running against. I announced because I thought the direction that we were going was wrong. Unfortunately, I could not go out to LA. I don't know if you all know, but last week was the Republican convention out in LA, and I was watching Morton Blackwell's amendment to reverse the rules change in Florida, and I was really ashamed to see some of the things that went on in that LA and some of the ending up of the vote to not overturn those rules 28 to 25. That's how close it was. But I'm also looking at what the establishment party is doing to silence the vote of the minority. When I was in Florida and the rules were voted to the affirmative, I heard the challenges to the control of the chair, which was John Boehner at the time, and you know I was in there with the same voice. Now I'm going to tell you up front, I'm going to be honest with you. If they had done a true ballot, it still would have turned out the way it did. I think they had the votes to go with the rules change. But the minority in that instance deserved the right to have their votes counted and to have their voice heard.
Your microphone stopped. Just take it out.
So, I believe that, you know, that's where I'm coming from. And I also want to take the voice of North Carolina to a more national basis. So I want to have your voices here in North Carolina when you elected what is referred to as a trifecta plus, by having the governor's mansion, the state legislature on both sides, the state legislature on both sides be Republican, as well as the court here in North Carolina be conservative. It's called the trifecta plus. And I think having garnered that notoriety allows us to have a voice on the national stage, and I'll take North Carolina to that national stage.
Can you repeat the question again, just so that I'll address it?
Well, yes. I guess I could jumbled, but the general idea is that some of you are going to get elected, and you're going to be in the party establishment of our state. And I guess I was just expressing some displeasure with Republican Party establishment politics and saying that I didn't feel like they don't represent me many times. They're more about compromising and about, you know, just liberal light. So
Yeah, I'm scared.
Hello.
yeah.
Now that I have your attention. I think I scare closer to my mouth. Okay. In the past, I've scared some people in Raleigh. In fact, when I decided to run, somebody called me up and they said, well, you know, a lot of people in Raleigh think you're to the far right. I said, okay. Yeah, I said, okay. In my past, I've taken my shots because I haven't played along with the establishment. I'll tell you very much why. It's because I own my own business. I'm my own man. I'm not running for governor. I'm not running for the Senate. And I'm not running for Congress. And so they can't tell me what to do. And that scares them to death. And when I was the chair in Guilford County, I made my own decisions. I raised my own money. I ran the party the way that it should have been run. That's why I had 350 volunteers. That's why I raised $287,000. And that's why I kicked the Democrats' butt. And I'm not afraid to say what I stand for, and I'm not afraid to get up and make it happen. My father had a real simple saying. He said, talk's cheap, it costs money to ride the train. You can talk that you're going to get on it, but you got to buy the ticket first, and guess who's going to sell you that ticket? It's going to be me. Because I'm going to tell you, if you're going to get on this train, this is the way we're going to run it, and we're fair to everybody. I want to tell you one little story about Elizabeth Dole, because see, Guilford County was real important, and we won Guilford County for the first time ever in history of this state for somebody running as a Republican for the United States Senate when I was chair. We won about 1,050 votes. And Elizabeth Dole and her campaign called up, because if you remember, there were 4 other people running against her, and we were having an event, and they said, well, we'll come if Elizabeth Dole is the only one that can speak. And I said, well, that's not fair. I said, these other people paid their money, they paid their dues, and they're out campaigning. They're going to get 5 minutes, and you get 5 minutes. If you don't want to come, don't come. You see, the thing about it is, we got to start being fair. We got to start working with everybody, and we got to start treating everybody with respect. Because everybody out here has a right to vote, and they have a right to say what they would like to see the party do, and what we have to do is work together and come to a common cause and go forward with that, and go out here and beat our enemies, which are the Democrats. And that's what we need to focus on. So what we need to do is go out and recruit good candidates that are willing to say that they stand on the platform, and we need to hold them accountable to what they say to us. Because you see, they forget they work for us. Thank you.
That's a good question, Karen. That's a little, being that we are all grassroots, that is a little, seems a little odd that we would be considered part of the establishment, but I guess we would be at that point. I got a quote here, and I want to read it to you. P.J. O'Rourke said, "You're exactly right in that the Tea Party was the perfect storm because people were very much disillusioned with both parties. And that's what happened. That's how the Tea Party emerged. I still believe if the Republican Party had done our job, there would not be a Tea Party today. We would have had those people in our ranks, and we didn't do our job." But P.J. O'Rourke said, "The Democrats are the party that says government will make you smarter, taller, richer, and remove the crabgrass from your lawn. The Republicans are the party that says government doesn't work, they get elected, and then they prove it." And that's kind of, I think, the way some of the disenfranchised folks that Karen is talking about, I think that's kind of how they feel. I feel fairly comfortable that most of us, we love our party. We all love our party or we wouldn't be in it. But most of us here, I think, I sort of don't think we'll ever be totally considered establishment. Do you, Dave? I think that is our strength. I think that's all of our strengths in that we have friends on both sides. I love the Tea Party, I love the grassroots, and I love my Republican Party. And I want that, there's an old African proverb that says, when elephants fight, the grass gets trampled. And we don't need to fight with each other. We need to be fighting with Democrats. We need to be defeating liberals everywhere we go. And whatever coalitions we need to form to do that, we need to do it, because we need everybody in the game. We need every single player on the field. And I think that's the one thing that any of us in this race will be able to do for the party.
I want to say something in defense of the establishment, whoever they are.
I wondered about that.
You have to give them due credit, because they got to be the establishment because they stood up to do what needed to be done. The old guard was on guard because we had not yet shown up to stand guard. They need to recognize that we are all on the same team as well and deserve the same chance to contribute to the party. We cannot diminish what they have contributed to this party all these years. And I believe if we show them the due respect for what they have done, they will show respect to us. Because we are that next generation. And we are raising the still next generation to come after us. So, as far as where I stand on it, I'm a Republican. The Liberty Caucus thinks I'm the establishment candidate. The establishment thinks I'm the Tea Party candidate. And the Tea Party doesn't know where I stand. And that's the best possible position to be in, folks, because I owe allegiance to no group to the prejudice of another within our party. I'm running as the Republican candidate for vice chair. Everybody is equal in that regard.